Welcome to the first video of section 3.2 in our OpenStax College Algebra textbook. In this section, we'll be talking about domain and range. When using functions, it's very important we understand what values are allowed as inputs and what values can produce outputs. Let's remember, for domain, the set of all possible inputs, or x, is called the domain of a function. Whereas for range, the set of all possible outputs, or y, of a function is called the range. We have many different ways to express our domain. We can use a graph, usually a number line. We can use inequalities. We can use set builder notation. And most importantly, in this course, we're going to use interval notation. If you forget how to use interval notation, or if you simply never learned it before, please refer to the review videos and watch lesson 2. Sometimes a domain or a range requires our union symbol on 2 or more intervals. For example, when x cannot equal 0 in our domain, we will write this answer in interval notation, meaning all numbers less than 0 and all numbers greater than 0, but not 0 itself. Listed below are several ways to find the domain of a function. We'll be doing examples of these in the next video, but this is a nice overview. So remember, for domain, we want to know what are all the possible inputs. If we look at this first example here, we have a fraction, 3 over x minus 1. We know that the denominator cannot equal 0. So we can allow x to be anything we want except whenever the denominator will be 0. So what we do here is we are going to set x minus 1 equal to 0. We're going to solve it, and we know when x equals 1, that is not allowed. In this case, they use set builder notation, where x can equal all real numbers but 1. When you see a square root or a fourth root or any radical with an even index, we know that underneath the square root cannot be a negative number. So we would set our equation to greater than or equal to 0. For instance, if we have root 2x plus 1, our index here is assumed to be a 2. We know that 2x plus 1 must always be greater than or equal to 0. And if we solve for this, we'll see that x must always be greater than or equal to negative 1/2. And once again, they use set builder notation here, where x is such that x is greater than or equal to negative 1/2. And again, we'll be doing extensive examples on these in the next video. When you get to chapter 6, you'll be learning logarithms. And for the logarithm, we know that it must always be greater than 0, or for the natural log, which is the same thing as a logarithm almost. So if we solve this inequality, once again, we'll get x to be greater than negative 1/2. So the domain of these two functions is x such that x is greater than negative 1/2. That's a quick overview of how to find the domain. We'll go into greater detail in the next video. And that is the end of the first video to section 3.2.